I love thrillers, romances, horror, comedy. I think nobody makes relationship dramas better than Gulzar Saab. She'll make the whole set cry in those 2 minutes when the camera is on and the camera loves her. Manoj Bajpayee is very problematic. Every community, every religion, every society has problems and issues. Silence hits harder.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Rediff podcast. I'm Saisuresh Sivaswamy. With me is a very special guest. He's special to Rediff because he was a guy who helmed the very popular Rediff chat at a time when internet was at its nascent stage, and he brought in celebrities ranging from L.K. Advani to Sachin Tendulkar to Amir Khan to the Rediff office to participate in a live interactive Rediff chat. He's also special to me personally because when I moved from print media to digital media to Rediff.com, he was a guy who handled me through my initial baby steps in Rediff. And of course, he chaperoned me when I conducted my popular Rediff political chat. So without beating around the bush anymore, let me welcome my dear old friend and a very popular director today, Suparn Verma, who's making waves with his latest film, Huck. Welcome to Rediff.
Hi, Sai. Good to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. It's a long journey for you.
It's been a while, yeah. A very short while, huh?
How would you sum it up?
Well, I think I'm just starting out, is how I would sum it up, honestly. I mean, I've had my shares of success and failures, lots of failures, and I've learned a lot through them. And I think I'm just starting to find myself, find my voice, discover what I want to do, and getting a better understanding of the medium, of the craft, and learning more and more things every day. And I think the world is opened up. That's, I think, something I've been lucky from day one. When I started my career with Rediff, the internet had just come into the country. Nobody had any clue, neither did I. And that opened up a whole vista of learning and understanding to me. And, it allowed me to create, thanks to, of course, very, very supportive, bosses out here, especially Nikhil Lakshman. But going ahead in life, again, the next wave happened when the streaming, services started per se. And again, we kind of rediscovered the language of cinema, storytelling, and deep diving into the stories into the heartland of India. And that again kind of was another growth trajectory. And now we are learning new things every single day, whether it's verticals coming up or whatever. I think I'm lucky to have been primed to adapt and evolve and strategize from the start of my career, where nothing would remain the same month to month, forget year to year. And that's been, I think, almost like has become like a second nature to me, where I am looking for the next curve or the turn where you can be ready and your hand is already on the steering wheel waiting to turn. And, so I don't see changes per se as shock or stuff that, kind of shakes you up. I look forward to it because I think change is inevitable. And whether it's AI, whether it's verticals, whether it's, changing cinema in a way where you get audiences in because audiences are waiting to come in. There is money, there is a ready mood for audiences. They are waiting, they are ready to, they decide whether to watch it on the big screen or on streaming platforms. So it's just a matter of understanding, and we learn something new every single day because there are no rules. None.
Just a little rewind here. So when you were in Rediff then, 30 years ago, did you then know that this was a calling, this was a destiny? When did you have this aha moment?
I formed a production company of mine before I even joined Rediff, and ABCL had just formed that year.
Okay.
And we thought Amitabh Bachchan, our hero, has made a company especially for us. And me and my partner kind of wrote a lot of concepts, which I think in hindsight were all OTT concepts. And we tried to kind of get a breakthrough, and we were both 20. And we realized that maybe we need to get some experience. And in that search of experiences, when I kind of took up my job in Rediff, and he started studying for IFS, I kind of journeyed through Rediff, and every KRA of mine would mention that I'm going to make a movie and write a script, and everybody would kind of patiently, happily nod. But again, I was very lucky to be supported by my colleagues, would push me in that direction of whatever I was doing. Because whether I made a film or not, at least I was exposed to that world, was part of that world, vis-a-vis as a journalist, as a media person. Uh, and also, I think that era, that decade, when I started out, I think was the last decade of journalism being as powerful, as nuanced as it was. I mean, the world has changed, media has completely changed, paradigms have completely changed. I think the day the front page of a leading newspaper kind of converted to an ad for online platform India.com, when we started selling banners to movies in exchange, and the whole barter system started,
That's right.
which came from the film industry only. But that started changing, and it became a business where every word, every tweet today has a cost to it. I don't know as a reader if there's an independent opinion. But yeah, coming back to your question, sorry for segueing. I always knew what I wanted to do. It was just a matter of how I reached that journey. But all the 6.5 years that I spent in Rediff came useful because whether it was my work ethic, whether it was understanding as a journalist, deep diving into research, or the last story that I covered as a journalist with IC 814 Hijack, which I worked into Zameen, Rohit
Yeah,
Shetty's
that's
debut
right.
film. So I think nothing in life is a waste ever. Everything comes useful, and that's something In my lowest of low moments, I've kind of realized that nothing in my life that I've done has been a waste. It's all come handy.
Today, your latest film Huck is making waves, top ranking film on Netflix India, and of course Netflix Global, I'm told as well. How does it feel?
Good. I mean, see, it's the response has been insanely overwhelming. When it came theatrically, the response of the audiences who went to theaters was massive. But it's exploded in a way that is 100 times more worldwide with coming on Netflix, where everybody who had not seen it has gone and seen it. Plus, of course, new audiences. And
My sister loved it, by the way, in Melbourne, distant Melbourne. She loved it.
did you see it?
Of course, I saw it.
Good. You know,
Of
talk
course, I
about it.
saw it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was ready to get up.
I know
So
you were.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good response. But here's the fun part. People call me every day. You're celebrating, and my thing is, life is very funny. It balances it out. I mean, on a professional level, I'm riding a crazy high. On a personal level, my sister is undergoing treatment for cancer, and that kind of balances out your emotions, where you are grateful for each day as it comes, and you kind of share your the love and responsibility with your team to kind of inspire them to
It's a very
work on your
zen thing to
next.
say, if I may add. It's a very zen thing to say, if I may add.
But it is what it is. I mean, and it's happened to me again and again in life. Every time there is a high, there is something that happens, which just gives you a reality check, and it's okay. I mean, I rather choose to be happy every single day because happiness is a choice. You can't go around seeking happiness because you won't find it.
It's inside you.
It's inside you. So you choose to be happy every single day. Then the minute you do that, whatever happens or doesn't happen, you're kind of at peace. There's enough to be happy about and be grateful about and keep doing a job. I mean, the job that we do, honestly, is not even a job, right? And as artists, all you want to do is create. You live to create. It's not really a job. You get paid for it, is a different thing altogether. So rather be grateful because not everybody gets a chance. Instead of complaining about all the things that are wrong, and every profession has things that are wrong, I think there are enough things to be grateful for. So I think I rather focus on that.
I also found that Karan Johar's tweet praising Huck Instagram post was a very gracious thing for him to do, isn't it?
It was really an emotional and a very gracious post. I mean my day began with seeing Alia's post. It ended with Karan Johar's post. It was a good day.
Yeah.
So
So, as
yeah,
a journalist, a natural corollary to that question, is there a collab coming up with Dharma?
you talk to all production houses, but you never know what project kind of fits where at what time. But I'm open to working with everyone, and I mean Dharma is one of the best, most premium production houses in the country. So why not? But again, it's a matter of time where what happens.
You asked me whether I saw Huck. Yes, of course, I saw Huck over the weekend. I saw it twice. And I must say, I found it a very Suparn Verma kind of film. Let me clarify what I mean by that. I mean, your films have always been slick actioners. This is, I found, very grounded, very earthy, very well researched, and it is very serious. It's not a flippant kind of a movie, not a frivolous movie where you chew popcorn and you kind of think. This kind of made you think. In that sense, I found that you kind of had a departure from your comfort zone. Was it a conscious decision to do that departure, or was it just organic?
See, here's the fun part. I'm genre agnostic. I love thrillers, romances, horror, comedy, serious dramas of all languages, whether in movies or books or all kinds of genres of music. I have a lust for life, for art, and to consume and to express. So when I'm agnostic, I think everyone has multiple sides to their personality. Uh, I don't like the comfort zone of, oh, I have kind of made a mark here, so let me continue this. This is my signature. Some of the greatest filmmakers that I've seen have done all kinds of films because there are all kinds of stories out there. And it's where you are at and what do you want to do at that point of time and what do you want to do next after that. Uh, so for me, yeah, but I'm glad that I made Huck now because my understanding of life, my maturity levels have, evolved enough to understand emotions and expression and relationships. Also, craft. When you are starting out, right, in your career, I never assisted anybody. I never went to film school. So initially, there was also there was this fear in me that I had to prove my technical skill set and show that off, that I know the job, I know the business. And as you keep on doing more work, there is a certain confidence. Like I kind of do workshops with my actors or talk to them. I know what they're going to deliver, right? Uh, the biggest victory that a director can land is casting right. When people say that actor didn't act well, that's actually a problem. The problem with the
That as
director
well.
because he is conducting an orchestra. Your job is to put the right instrument in place. If the instrument is not playing right, it's not the instrument's fault. That instrument can play a tune. We just put it in the wrong chord, wrong place, right? Or wrong movement. So for me, casting becomes key besides writing, which is a long, laborious process. And you need to cast correctly to create the ambience. Then comes in production design, various other things. But I think the Therav being that word, I mean, Huck needed stillness. It needed that space where I need the audience to enter the scene. If I kept cutting, the audiences would be jolted in and out of a scene. And there are times where the scene, where, for example, where Shazia discovers that Abbas has come home with a new wife, I just took a lens which causes distortion in the background and just placed it on Imran's face with Yami behind him. And here's the great part. Imran is now such a mature actor that he could be completely still for 3.5 minutes. He was not giving any great massive reactions. He was there. He had one dialogue, Saira. He had to be there. He had to look. And look also like slightly off because he's not turning and looking. He's looking slightly off here. And the whole camera is on him. So the focus is on him. I'm following the scene via him with Yami's entire, burst of emotions.
बिरयानी या शीर कोरमा नहीं है ज़बान कर बहुत सवाब का बहुत बरकत होगी अपार शौहर है हमारे
And these are choices, right? I mean, I could cut, go handheld and all that stuff. And I decided to go still because I think that confidence or maturity that came in me is because I could see things in my head with the experience that I don't need to do more. I think being simple is tougher. It's very tough. It's also
Right.
scary because then you tend to cross question yourself about everything. Even with background music, I try to use it sparsely and not fill it up and tell you how to feel. Uh, so those were choices which I think I could make now because I've seen what can be done. So in my head, I've played out all options and then tried to stop at it. I mean, there are 80 ways to shoot a scene, and then there is one right way. And our job is as a filmmaker to always find that right way. If you come close to the right moment scene or second last or third last, you're somewhere close in that realm. So it's one of those things. So it's taken me time to get there, and each film demands or each show demands a different, cinematic language, which is your job to discover. And that's the fun part of it, which is the reason when I do different genres, it allows me to kind of play differently or craft differently. And that's where it's at. And yeah, I mean, when you have the right actors, you don't even need to do multiple takes. I do use multiple cameras at times, and sometimes I keep them aside and I have only one camera rolling, but I don't do more than 2, 3 takes. You don't need to.
Another thought that came to my mind while seeing Huck was that normally I found that if films are very contemporary, Huck delves into the past. So how did
So, here's the thing. Nothing has changed. What's changed? Uh, firstly, for me, Huck is not about a story about a community per se. I mean, Shazia could be Sudha or a Sandra. I think women face the same issues, same
Discrimination.
prejudices. And unfortunately, you said that the story is set 40 years ago. Nothing has changed. That woman still lives in a man's world. She's still fighting the same biases, the same, obstructions, the same, hurdles, everything. What has changed? Maybe there's a bit more awareness and a bit more conversation in certain quarters, but otherwise it's exactly the same. I mean, you have women weeping their heart out while watching the film in 2025 for a story that is 40, 45 years ago. The only reason for that is because nothing's changed. And I'm talking about women who are 20-year-old, 20s and 30s, not even like 50, 60-year-olds who have seen that world, right? So it's the relevance of the story per se, and which is the reason, I decided not to make a biopic, though we had the book rights. I decided not to it to be a docudrama or whatever. I wanted to be inspired by the judgment and create our universe and our characters. A lot of people have said, oh, Shavano was 62. I don't call my character Shavano, I call her Shazia Bano. The story of Shazia and Abbas. Shavano was a constable's daughter. My Shazia Bano is a Maulvi's daughter. That one had 5 children, this one had 3 children, this one is a 5-time Namazi. There are lots of structures. That was set in Indore, this is set in Lucknow. 2 different worlds.
You're inspired by a similar story, I guess.
Yeah, you are inspired by the story and stuff, but again, not the characters. And I did that so that it allowed me the space to create this world, these characters, and these issues where I could discuss a lot of things and also clear a lot of misunderstandings, whereby Shazia is not very well educated, but she knows the Quran like the back of her hand. Her husband uses the Quran for his, serving his purposes and hiding behind it, while she quotes the Quran back to him.
आप कह रही हैं कि शरीयत के तरीके से दिया गया तलाक लागू नहीं है।
इन्होंने कुरान पढ़ा ही नहीं है और शरीयत बोल रहे।
About 25 years ago, there's a lady from Lebanon who kind of showed how progressive the Quran was towards women, and she took out all the quotes, and there's a massive hue and cry. So fact is, it's not like it's nothing new. The Quran has a lot of progressive passages in it, and I needed her to kind of quote it, which is the reason Yami and Arabic, the way the Quran is spoken, is not just spoken in Arabic. There's a certain texture to it which is guttural. And if someone has been reading the Quran her whole life, she would have to say it with a certain fluency. In fact, there are a couple of scenes which we cut out, which had some more quotes, but they were changing the length and the flow of the film. But Yami kind of trained with all these quotes for almost 3 months, till the time she was talking to them. And I played that audio out to a few of my Muslim friends who are Namazis. And I said, is this said correctly? And they had no context. And they said, yeah, this woman is reading the namaz. I said, anything wrong with it? I said, no. What about it? I said, this is an actor who's learned to speak the ayats a certain way. And they were like, it sounds like someone who's been doing this a whole life. So that was key. And we did it with a lot of respect and deference.
What is the most bizarre criticism you've received about her?
It's a propaganda movie. I'm like, what?
For who? Propaganda for who?
I did not understand. So here's a funny part, an unfortunate part. I think I'm a liberal. Every action of mine in my life has been of a liberal.
I've known you for years.
Years. And my politics has been out there, so it's nothing to be hiding about. Am I left of center? Yes. Am I extreme left? No. I don't believe in being extreme either. And fact is, politics is a very fluid philosophy. Sometimes the right hand does the right thing, sometimes the left hand does the right thing, sometimes both do wrong things. Either or, find your space. But as a liberal values talk about everybody being given a space to talk. We talk about our right to freedom of speech. But I've realized of late, interestingly, liberals don't want anybody to talk but themselves. There are certain things that you don't talk about. I cannot make a film about Muslims. Why? Because I will be playing into propaganda. What propaganda did I play into? Where is the propaganda in Huck? You may talk about, it talks about UCC.
सेक्युलर लॉ की आड़ में शरीयत का मजाक बनाया जा रहा है और हम देखते रह जाएंगे। इसे बचाना हमारा फर्ज है।
Firstly, listen to Imran Hashmi's speech that was written specifically for you to understand why the Sharia law was brought in and given to them as per the contract struck when the partition happened. And that's the reason it exists. It's all laid out. Whether the UC should come in or not, I think everything in life should have a time code. Whether it's a Mandal Commission, you can't have reservations for SC/ST for the next 500 years. Eventually, they'll also rise. Why do we need that, right? Everything needs to be time bound. Everything needs, and that's the thing about the beauty of our founding fathers. When they wrote the Constitution, they wrote a living, breathing Constitution that can be changed and adapted because they themselves knew they don't have all the right answers. The world will change. There are places in the Constitution which allow for change world over. There is no such thing that this is it for the rest of your life. And that's how everything works.
That's why they keep getting amended.
Amended, right? And when the Hindu law bill was passed, it was a great movement. So if the UCC happens, where the whole nation comes under one law, after X period of time, which could be 75 years of independence or 100 years of independence, it's a progression. It's at least something to be talked about, have a conversation about. If you're not going to have a conversation, if you're not going to allow the other person to talk, then things fester like pus and then they burst, and they don't burst well. I think both the right and the left need to talk to each other instead of
They're talking at each other now.
they're talking at each other. Everybody's screaming on top of each other. There is no conversation, there is no nuance, and there is no room for hearing anyone left. And the minute you do that, you are isolating yourselves, both of them, into two different extreme corners. And that's not a healthy space for any country or democracy in the world. And right now we are seeing an inflection point all across. It is a key situation. So yeah, to hear that, oh, Haq is propaganda, and then when asked what is the propaganda, oh no, you're playing into the hands. That hands what? I mean, I have respectfully quoted the Quran. The funny part, and that's what kills me, makes me laugh really a lot, is that, forget my personal bias aside, which I'll come to in a second, Haq is the #1 film in every single Muslim country in the world, including Nigeria, all of UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Dubai, everywhere. These are all Muslim countries. It's the #1 film everywhere. In India, I've had so many Muslim friends, industry, non-industry, come and tell me this is such an important film for us. And the way you have treated and quoted the Quran and respected it and talked about problems. Every community, every religion, every society has problems and issues. Nothing is a sacred cow that you have to kind of cover it up or can't discuss it. When you don't discuss it, problems happen. Talk about it, solve it, move ahead, end of story. And when you talk to me about I have made a propaganda film, my closest friend, my brother, my mentor, my friend is Hansal Mehta, whose wife is Safina Hussain, who's a Magsaysay Award winner. My closest collaborator, my friend, my brother, Manoj Bajpayee's wife is Shabana. He's a Muslim. My mentor, a man who treated me like a second son, is Feroz Khan. So I think, bro, hold my beer. Take a chill pill, take a walk. I mean, you don't know what you're saying. You don't know what you're saying. I come from a land of Ganga Jamuna Tehzeeb. I come from a land of where you grew up learning Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, and so bye bye. So what are you talking about? What nonsense? What shit are you smoking, man?
आपकी बेगम आपके ऊपर केस कर रही है।
हमारे 3 छोटे बच्चे हैं। महीने के खर्च पर बात हुई थी, अचानक पैसे देना बंद कर दिया। एक सांस में 3 बार तलाक लेना कैसे सही हो सकता है सर? हम सिर्फ मुसलमान औरत नहीं, हम हिंदुस्तान की मुसलमान औरत है, इसी मिट्टी में पले बड़े हैं। इसलिए कानून हमें भी उसी नजर से देखे जैसे बाकी हिंदुस्तानियों को देखता है।
I also found that everybody is praising Yami Gautam's performance. Do you think she'll get a national award for her performance?
I'm sure she'll get a national award for this. I think she should definitely. She has done. It's not just a career-based role. It's a performance that will be talked about for a very long time. She went into a space where she was a young mother. She was a 6-month-old child's mother, and she would visit her child in Chandigarh over weekends, or if I could weave in a break. All through the shoot, we had made provisions for her mother to come here with her son, but she never called.
Oh, wow.
She stayed away from a young child while shooting this film. and that's Yami. And for me, equally, I think this is a very tough role for Imran Hashmi because it's not an author backed role. And his only question was, Ki, how do you want me to project him? I said, I want you to be understood. I need Abbas Khan to be understood. And he made sure Abbas is understood. Everybody who comes out says, oh, I don't like what he did, or I hate what he did, but I understand him. And that was key for me. It's easy to vilify. Similarly, for Saira, we created those scenes where just because you're the second wife, why can't there be sisterhood? I have in one place, the mother-in-law enabling the son, because that's what normalizes society for men to be or behave a certain way. Unfortunately, a woman's worst enemy is a woman in most cases. But there's also sisterhood. So the sisterhood of Shiva Chadda's character, Bela Jain and Saira, who over time realizes, initially it was her ego that made her tell her that, he was in love with me always.
Yeah.
And later, she's saying that, sometimes love is not enough. You also need self-respect.
Yeah.
And why did you say it? You could have just kept your trap shut.
Absolutely.
And so it's those things. So for me, the whole film is a doffing of my hat to Gulzar Saab. I think nobody makes relationship dramas better than Gulzar Saab. And a lot of times while writing the film, I would ask Reshu, so what would Gulzar Saab write here? What does his characters say? When I was studying with Vishal Mishra, same thing. And yeah, so one of my favorite scenes actually is the scene where Imran Hashmi and Yami meet that one last time before they go to the Supreme Court, where it's Shab-e Barat scene.
He comes home.
He comes home. And for me, that's a scene from Mahabharat in my head, which I asked Reshu that I want a scene like this. Because Mahabharat was Dharm Yudh, where relatives from each side would come at the end of battle and, sit with each other, cry, attend to each other's wounds, and then go back to killing each other. It's literally that moment where this is a couple who's been together for almost 2 decades, have 3 children together, and they are fighting a really rough battle.
Right.
But the decency, I mean, it's easy to scream and shout. It's very easy to kind of get swayed, give me that histrionic. But I realize if I try restraint, I think it'll hit you harder.
Absolutely.
Silence hits harder.
Yeah.
It's something I realized while
Speaks louder.
making it. Yeah.
One more interesting thing I noticed was that Yami is making waves with your Haq, and husband is making waves with Dhurandhar, all at the same time.
Yeah.
Must be a happy household.
The Dhar household has had a very happy new year.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It was a wonderful household to be in right now, right?
Yeah.
You know the couple. I mean, both of them. Pretty
I know very well. I know them very, very well. I'm really fond of Aditya. I'm very happy for his success. I mean, he has worked his ass off over the years, right from assisting to literally being on the verge of having his debut film being made, and then of course Uri happened. His film got jacked. I mean, he had Fahad Khan and Katrina Kaif in his debut film, which incidentally was made as Dhoomda much later. That's why I said nothing in life goes waste. And then he made Uri. Then of course he was working on Ashwathama. Then of course Ashwathama was kept aside because the budget was high. Then he started Dhurandhar, and Dhurandhar has his own set of challenges, and he's done an exceptionally great job. I mean, for a Kashmiri Pandit boy who has literally seen a lot of horrors in his time, him and his family, to start his life. I mean, he started his career literally writing lyrics for Kabul Fiza, for Kabir Khan's Kabul Express.
Okay.
So Aditya has worked a lot.
Come on the hard way.
Yeah, come out the hard way. I really like his work. I really like him. Very nice guy.
Okay, to move away from all this, I mean, to the uninitiated, how would you describe your creative process? Your creative process of making a film, choosing a film, a topic.
I mean, when I talk to my writers or whoever, or myself rather, I look for the kidich. I want something which is, I need that. I can't do simple shit. I need something there which differentiates it. I need something to play. And because you're going to invest at least 2 years, 1 or 2 years of your life into something, right?
Right.
You have to have something that keeps you wanting to rush back, to discover, to explore, to play with. Yes, the most more smarter intellectual answer would be I need something to say. What am I saying with it? I'm here to entertain myself, and entertain my audiences. Whether I do it seriously, whether I do it with action or horror. But for me, end of the day, every day at work is play. I have the happiest set that will ever come on. Everybody's having a good time. Everybody's eager to come. It's not chilled out. Everybody's working really hard. I mean, I shot all of Haq in 32 days.
Wow, that's quite short.
No, I have a very hard-working crew. So I won't have a crew that is stressed out and unhappy. I'll have a crew that is happy, who will feel secure, where anybody can come and give me an idea. Because I think it is a collaborative process. I may be a director. My job is to say the right yes and the right no. I say the wrong yes and the wrong no. I screw up. But everybody comes on set wanting to contribute, right? They're all there to be part of something. You have to give them that space to do that. So, what is my creative process like? The simple rule in a writer's room is that there is no bad idea. Throw all your shit at the wall, we'll see what sticks. There are no bad ideas. So, don't be scared. Nobody's going to jump on you for having said a shitty idea. Unless, of course, there are some cardinal rules which you cannot break. But yeah, which really shitty will beat you up. But yeah, so that I think safety. Safe in the thing that there will be no repercussions for not giving a good idea or for giving a bad idea rather. Safe that if I give an idea, I will get maybe not recognized but at least acknowledged. Something I learned again from Rediff, where any idea that I would give or any of my colleagues would give, our editor-in-chief would scream and tom-tom it for the whole world rather than take credit. End of the day, we are his team. If he took credit for it, good on him. He never did that. And that inspired a certain sense of loyalty, which we were ready to go to war for him. I realized that's key. Everybody wants to be acknowledged. Everybody is here to be acknowledged. Small, big, doesn't matter. And that is something I carry forward or paid forward. But yeah, it comes down to that basically. That's the space. Everything else beyond that, for me, I'm just looking. I'm just a greedy slut for ideas.
And do you pick your cast after auditions, or do you already have a pre-cast?
No, I have casting directors who kind of audition most of the cast. Maybe the principal cast, your leading man and leading lady, if they are not newcomers. Those are done on the basis of their capabilities and their market value and stuff, depending on the budget of the film, because that's the reality of the business. But everybody else, I get in casting directors, we audition each and every role to the smallest one line speaking part is auditioned and goes by me, because sometimes a nice scene can fall apart just by an actor who has to say one line but doesn't say it well,
Casting is
or just an expression and that scene is gone. Then either you're cutting it or trying to repair it on edit and it's not working. Casting is key. Casting is very, very key.
the whole workshops as well, rigorous workshops as well.
I do readings and stuff. I don't do rigorous workshops beyond a point. I don't overdo things, because then, at least in my head, my thinking is that fatigue will set in, and also actors then will come with rigid ideas where they're not flexible. Because I do a tech recce with my technicians where we design that we'll plan the shots from here and there. So requirements can be given to production as to what stuff to get, what lights and whatever. But on set, once the actor comes in and the lighting is ready, there's a different kind of magic on that day. Also, you're
Right.
on adrenaline, which is at a different level pumped inside you. So different ideas come in. So I like changing and moving things around then. So I want my actors to be aware, but I don't want them to be fixed. Yo, this is the scene and I'm done and I'm doing this, because I might just tell you, just sit and shut up and not say the scene at all and let somebody else play it, for example. But I like that magic to happen on set.
So the actors come on the sets with kind of preset roles and lines and all that, or some of them come and improvise there as well?
So every day in the morning, the way I work is every day in the morning I go to each actor's vanity. I run the lines with them in general, tell them how I'm planning to shoot the scene. In case there is a lot of movement in the scene, then I tell them, before you start your makeup, come to the set. I'll tell you what I am planning shooting wise. If you want to do something else, do it right now. So the actors talk amongst themselves. They see, oh yeah, this is working, no changes, they go to the vanity. Or they decide, oh, I might stand from here and walk from here to there and come like this, come like this. Then I might decide that maybe I take like a single shot, or the coverage, or this much or this much here. Lighting changes, because again, you got to be time efficient. So I give them the space. We just do a basic run through. They go back. I've run the lines through them, so I know the sur, which is high, which is high. I marked out the lines, and this word needs to be here. There's a pause here, and every actor knows exactly what they're doing.
Very dynamic process.
It's simple.
And, you're one of the guys. I mean, there are many others doing it as well. You're one of the guys who's handling both the big screen as well as OTT as well. Is it the kind of need of the hour, or is it that the medium doesn't matter, the storyline does?
So two things. It's nothing to do with need of the hour. I mean, this is the world we live in, where we luckily are blessed to have theaters and OTT simultaneously. The language of a theatrical film at times is very slightly different from a language of an OTT film. because they're two different experiences. One is a community experience, one is an individual experience. I will not write claptraps, for example, in a OTT film.
Okay.
Because one person sitting at the mobile phone is not going to go and city maro, but an audience of 100 people will, right? So you shoot at times differently. Where for example, Rajnikant's entry with all that stuff is a theatrical entry. A OTT film won't have that. He'll come differently. He might come as a shocking entry and shoot you in the head. You will jump and you'll make sure that you're not scrubbing or scrolling. So that is a different language of shooting, editing, or whatever. That's again craft up to a point. When it comes to characters, you can go darker with different kind of payoffs on OTT as compared to theatrical. Series, of course, a different breed altogether, where it's like a Charles Dickens novel as compared to a James Hadley Chase novel either, or I mean, they're two different things. So I think it's a language that changes.
Okay.
And
the story matters.
Story matters everywhere.
Stories
and characters, that's all people go for, besides the spectacle.
In the early days of your career, you were very closely associated with Feroz Khan. So some time ago that you called him, described him as a mentor as well. So that must have been a very in your initial days, baby steps, been a very stabilizing factor in your progress.
I don't know about stabilizing. I think it was more where I felt more secure of myself as a human being, because he respected me. He respected very few people in his life. He loved me, he adored me, he respected me, he gave me my space, he would hear my opinions, which at times I wondered why. But he did from day one. And initially when I met him, in fact, I was at that time writing 3 films for Ramu, which never happened. I did my version of Sarkar and Bhoot and Aankh Mein Choli for him. And incidentally, my version of Bhoot, which I had written for him, I made as Atma years on. Anyway, so Ramu put me on to Khan Saab, and also I was doing stuff for Hansel, plus working in Rediff. So when I met Khan Saab as a fan, I told him that I can't write for you because I'm doing this much. And he laughed. I don't think anybody says no to Khan Saab. He said, don't worry, no one is all good. He discussed the stories with me. And we had a very nice conversation. And then he said, come next Sunday for lunch. I'll cook something for you. And he made Afghani chicken. Next Sunday I went.
Wow.
We sat for 3 hours. We discussed some more scenes from his film. I gave some ideas and stuff like that. He said, come next Sunday, let's have one more round of lunch. He made another dish for me. Again, we discussed again something. The 4th Sunday when I went to him, he finally, at the end of the meeting, gave me a check. And I said, what is this check for? He said, well, you've been writing. I said, no, sir, I have not. He said, yes, you have been giving. I have written everything that you have written.
What a gentleman.
So he was a rock star. So, people have different stories of him. But this is what I have seen. And that every woman in Feroz Khan's life has experienced. They called him a Casanova. That man could charm a tree which has been dead for 500 years because he gave it respect. He would give the same respect to a 21-year-old girl to a 8-year-old woman the same way, like a gentleman. There is good touch and bad touch. There is the male gaze. Forget me, women around him would see that and they would feel safe. Would they know that, yes, he loves charming women and, playing the field? Of course he would. But he would only do it if you invited that. He would do it if you were comfortable. And it was done so respectfully that, everybody came out good having met him. He was well educated. He was very well read. He would quote from Oscar Wilde to Gita to Quran to the Bible and stuff like that. Very sophisticated and all self-taught. It's not like he went to the most polished schools and the colleges in the world. This is all self-taught stuff. He was a very completely self-made man. He was a pool hustler, making his money in his struggling days. To an actor, to being called a non-actor, to an actor, to a director who literally at one point of time created cuts which we do today, where he was cutting on film and he was splicing frames and doing jump cuts and shit like that. I mean, see his technique. The man has done seminal work. I mean, Feroz Khan was a master craftsman. I remember in his last film, he got a Jimmy Jib to play around, which he had not used in his previous film because it had recently come. And after half an hour, the jib operator was sitting on the side and he was with the jib movement and he was operating it himself, saying, this is the movement. And it was a very complex movement where it starts over the judge and goes to the boy and then turns around and goes to daughter and comes back. He orchestrated and he's shooting on film. I mean, there is so much. I mean, we had lots of conversations about life, cinema, relationships, world, religion, everything.
Why do you think his son's career never really went places?
I think Fardeen was doing very, very well.
Exactly.
I think his father's death, I think, affected him at the point. Also, there was a health scare that he had, which he overcame. And sometimes life gets to you. There are a lot of things that happen in person's personal life and your own demons that you fight with. And now he's back. And he's looking so damn good. He's looking better than he has ever looked in his life, with a much more clearer mind and attitude. I think he'll just bounce back. Because Fardeen, again, he's one of the most well brought up human beings I know. He's his father's son. Literally his father's son, chip of the old block. A solid guy, a rock solid guy.
You're talking about his comeback. Interestingly, my next question is about guys like Akshay Khanna and Bobby Deol having a second innings now, late in their lives. What is the secret ingredient in their version 2.0?
The only ingredient, honestly, this is a very odd industry. You never know when you'll click. You just need to be ready for that moment.
Being at the right place at the right time?
More than being at the right place at the right time, being ready. You could be at the right place at the right time and you may not be ready, because after maybe, say, 5 years of failure, you have decided to kind of, let yourself go physically, mentally, whatever, and you're not ready. Or you keep working at yourself, waiting. It's almost like being a sleeper agent. That's what the profession is. Being a sleeper agent, that one fine day you'll be called. You don't know when you'll be called, but when you are, you got to be ready and at your prime. Because you'll only get that one chance. There are no second chances.
Don't flub it.
Don't flub it. And once you get that chance, put your bloody legs to the door and then push it and break down the door and keep breaking every single door again and again and again and again. Because life resets every bloody Friday or with every thing that you do. Right now you might be a high and then again you are yesterday's season. So you never know how long it will last. The only thing that lasts is consistency. And you can only be consistent with you.
Okay. Again, I'm jumping topics here. How did Family Man 2 come about?
Raj and DK are dear friends. I have known Raj and DK since the time they came to India with Sita Menon, our colleague who was in Rediff, was writing the film Flavors. And I met them at the premiere of 99, where we kind of hung out and played poker after that. So they had designed, this is just before the advent of OTT, they had made a show, designed a show called Dar Sabko Lagta Hai, with Bipasha doing an anchor bit in every episode. And each episode was a 40-minute episodes of an individual horror story. So they had called me to first do the promos, because I had just finished shooting with Basha or Atma. So I shot all the promos of the show. Then they called me to direct a couple of episodes, individual stories for the show. So I did that as well. Then they asked me to direct all of Bipasha's segments as well. So I did that as well. And before that, of course, I have acted in Go Go Gone in a small part. So that has happened. So we kept discussing ideas and stuff like that. Post-marriage, DK ended up settling in the same building as me. So we would keep interacting. And then this, of course, this TV show happened. And then one night, DK said that, I had already started. I had done 2 OTT shows by then called Kaushiki and Yoke Obro for Woot. When Monica Shergill was with Viacom, Woot, I had done 2 shows already. So I'm actually one of the earliest movers in directing OTT shows. And at that point in time, I was writing Hasmukh for Nikhil Advani and Veer Das. Okay. And DK said that we have just kind of, shot most of Family Man season 1, and come and check out the edit. And why don't you write season 2 with us and direct it? I said, okay, done. So I saw season 1 on the edit and I knew where it's headed. And Suman had written out an outline of the second season story, and we started writing the screenplay. And they wanted me to write screenplay dialogue. So we did finish the writing. We started shooting the second season. We finished the Chennai schedule. And then season 1 released. And it blew up.
Did you expect that?
Blowing up that much? No. Also, we didn't see COVID coming.
Okay.
In fact, we wrote the last scene with COVID also much later. So yeah, we made some certain changes during the writing of season 2 while we were shooting, because we took a break for a month. Because season 2 exploded. We had a learning from the first season. People love this. This is missing here. Put that in and all this stuff. And we went and made. So people asked me, what's the pressure? I'm like, we were halfway through the process. So there is, forget pressure. I think we realized how big season 2 is once we were sitting in the edit room of we realized how big season 1 became when we were in the edit room of season 2. And luckily season 2 broke all records. And yeah, that big door opening, and then Rana Naidu happened, which broke even more doors. I did more shows like Trial and Sultan of Delhi and stuff like that, and then Sifik Banda Kafiye came, which I kind of preached. That again was really massive. And then
Family Man 2, I found it very well researched, amazingly researched. I mean, I've never seen a better research show than that. So is that part of Rajan DK's creative process?
So basically, Suman had done dived a lot into it. So when we kind of sat down, we had a lot of research material
The
available.
localization, the Tamil localization, how did that come about?
So
I saw it and
So basically, a lot of research was available. And funny part is this, that I think Raj DK and I are all news junkies. So, the Liberation LTT is something that we had already kind of researched in our heads a lot. We knew a lot about it. And when this material came, we all took it to like fish to water. And when it came to the localization of languages and stuff, I mean, in the script itself, we would write these dialogues in a Sinhalese Tamil, these are in Tamil, because there are two different dialects happening. And initially, all dialogues were written in English and then in that language. So it was easy directing it. So even if I didn't understand the flow, I knew exactly what is being said. You could correct the flow of sur, technically is what I call it, right? Everything is the meter. So it was fun.
You also had a cameo in Family Man 2.
Yeah,
press.
No, I had a whole scene actually with Manoj Bajpayee. I was playing Unmesh Joshi, the journalist. Ankur Pathak was supposed to play the part, and he didn't turn up. So I said, okay, fine, I'll play it. So yeah, I'm there. DK is also there in season 2.
Okay.
DK loves casting himself. So he's there. In fact, his daughter Anara is also there, which got me in trouble with my son because he's like, why am I not there? Because he saw the episode. I'm like, oh shit, sorry. So I had made a short film which is on Waves now with animation and stuff. So I put him in a small role. There you are in it. So yeah.
So one thing I noticed from going through a filmography was that a lot of these stars are making headlines today. I mean, you worked with them years ago, man. Jaideep Alawat, Radhika Apte, Huma Qureshi, they were all there. KK Menon, they were all there with you right then. I mean, did you at that point in time know that these are going to be...
Jaideep was an outstanding actor. Seeing him as Sardar Khan in Gangs of Wasseypur in that small role was seminal. So the minute I went to him and I told him I wanted to play the character of the cop who's investigating all the bizarre murders happening in Atma, I mean, we still do a Singham dance. Recently, I was giving away an award at the Midday Awards, Jagran Awards, and I think first Pratik Gandhi came, and then Rajkumar Rao came because he was taking Patalika's award, and Patalika acted in a show which I did in. So Patalika got it for Phule's wife, Jyotiba Phule's wife, and he kind of did a call out to Haq having released, and at that time, he called on stage Jaideep also, and Pratik also. And then, Siddharth Kanan, big Siddharth Kanan said, why don't they do a dance step? And I had a hook step with Jaideep during the shoot of Atma, because Singham had just come out. So every time we would look at each other, go like, Singham, Singham. We would keep doing that stuff with each other. So he decided to Singham on stage. He pulled me in. So yeah, it was an interesting moment. But here's the thing. I mean, talent, again, you never know when it's going to kind of come to the fore. Sometimes things rise to the fore, sometimes they don't. It is what it is. That's the nature of the beast. But yeah, I've seen a lot of talent in my time. A lot actually have made it. Some haven't. It's unfortunate, but you never know.
Manoj Bajpayee acted with you in Acid Factory, 2009.
Yeah.
You both share a very special bond.
I am in this industry because of Manoj Bajpayee, interestingly, because Manoj acted in Hansal Mehta's film Dil Pe Mat Le Yaar. I was doing the Rediff chat in Hansal's house. That was a day we used to carry those big monitors and CPUs because there were no laptops. And Hansal's dad had a export firm in Germany. So he had a computer at home with the whole router shit. So Manoj said, my friend Hansal is a filmmaker. It's his film only. He has a computer at home. You can do it at his house. I do the chat with Manoj. Manoj leaves. Hansal comes out, introduces himself and says, I love reading reviews. Because he used to read Rediff because he was on the internet. And we sat for 3 hours having drinks and discussing movies. At the end of the discussion at 12:30 in the night, Hansal, as he comes to drop into the lift, says, do you want to write a movie for me? I said, of course, I'm waiting for this. And I kind of started working on, he was signed by Harry Babeja to direct Abedale's debut.
Okay.
Which was a love-struck couple at the border of Mexico and stuff like that. So we sat and wrote various versions, and we're not very happy with it because Somehow it was a force fit that we were trying to do. And at that time, in my nights, I would keep writing. So one of the ideas I written was for Chal, which is ADs Shashi and Kanika read and told him that, here, you should read this. And a producer had come to Hansal, a builder from Nashik had come to him saying, I have 1 crore rupees, can you make a film in 1 crore? And this was the era when small budget films were just happening. Like the whole concept of small budget films was coming out. And he said, done, I'll shoot in 1 crore. And that's how Chal happened. During that time, of course, I was doing interviews with Suparn Verma and he was mixing them. And we got talking and I told him that's Pet Cemetery. And he said, how do you know? So I showed him a press card which had Stephen King's photograph on it. So it's life, everything is a series of coincidences for me. And if you see it, you realize as long as you keep moving, the domino effect will continue.
So if I would ask you to, among all the actors and actors you worked with, your favorite actor and actress, who would you?
All of them. Every single one of them. Manoj Bajpayee, always, first and foremost, he spoils you. He spoils you for life. Manoj Bajpayee is very problematic. Once you work with him, you are addicted.
You're addicted.
He is something very, very special. He's a very, very special human being. And but again, there are very special actors, whether it's Yami or Imran or Ajay Devgan or Feroz Khan Saad. I mean, the funny part about Feroz Khan was on his own set as a director and producer, he would come 1 hour late. As an actor, his call time was 9 o'clock in Hat. His car would literally turn in when the second clock went on 60 seconds off 9 o'clock. Day 1. Okay. Day 2, same thing. Day 3, I literally had my team waiting to hide and check whether his car is hidden outside to enter. Finally, I could not wait. I asked him, you never came on your own set on time. And he just looked at me and said, Suparn, this is Feroz Khan, the actor. Amitabh Bachchan and Feroz Khan. You can mark your clock according to us. I'm like, okay, done. Yeah, there are stories. That Vidya Balan, I've directed her only in a campaign for a radio station, Big FM. But again, a joy to work with. I've been lucky. I have managed to kind of work. Kajol, she, will do the most dramatic scenes while 1 minute before she'll be going ha ha ha, and 2 minutes later she'll be going he. But she'll make the whole set cry in those 2 minutes when the camera is on and the camera loves her. There are a lot of special actors and actresses that I've worked with, which, yeah.
Okay. Again, I'm moving away from all this. One of the questions that everybody has in mind when they talk about film industry is there really a casting couch for both men and women? How does it work?
Every industry, I think, has men and women making propositions of all kinds. So I don't think there is a casting couch per se. I think there are men and women some men and some women who try to kind of use the situation to their advantage, who are not serious about the business or the work or the profession. Neither do they respect it or themselves enough. So they try and reach some kind of arrangement. And that happens in journalism, in advertising, in politics, in any known industry where there's semblance of power and there is need and there are only X amount of jobs to go around. So that per se as a thing is not new. Is it as a occurrence a lot? I would say it would be 1 or 2%.
Okay.
And also today's world, touchwood, is so well organized. Actors do not meet directors directly or producers directly. They go via casting directors. We see auditions. First our team sees it. They look through the best of it. So if there are 100 people auditioning, I'll get the best 10 of it, which I will see, and then I'll choose, and then I'll call those people that come do a reading. Okay, fine, this is done. Today, even when shooting, for example, if you're shooting an intimate scene, there are intimacy coordinators on set, trained intimacy coordinators, not just now vaste. So the world has changed a lot. There are lots of checks and balances, I think the kind of dignity and safety that we need women and men to feel in this profession at least has been brought into a massive regard.
We also talk about equal pay for the genders and fixed work hours and all that.
So two things.
Work demands or practical?
No. So it's nothing to do with woke or unwoke. See, the fact is this: one, our industry, we shoot the most bizarre hours. We might shoot at 3 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. We might shoot at 12 in the night to 7 to 7, 6 to 6. No profession works like our professions. We work in the melting sun, in bloody rain machines, in snow, in Antarctic, in a sari. Random shit, right? I mean, nothing is normal out here, number one. Number two, I'll first come to the pay part. Any actor or technician's fees is dependent on their market price. I'll stick to actors for now. An actor's fees is decided by his weekend revenue, because the weekend audience pull is on the actor. Post weekend is the actual product, the film or show that they have made. So whatever they kind of turn is what they take as their revenue, whatever, whether it's a male or a female. And it is literally on the basis of that. It's not like a producer pays a male actor more and a female actor more because of gender. It's always that if a female actor bring in the same amount of money and crowd and justifies the budget, the female actor gets the same amount of money. I mean, there are actresses who are very highly paid in industry because they pull in that crowd. Someone, industry folk long time ago explained it to me very simply, very basic, simple, crass method. But he said, this is a poster. If I put a name on it, is it a plus or a minus? Or even it's neutral, it's not negative. So this is, let me make my poster now. Let me put this actor and this actress. Does it go up the scale of positivity or down? Earning, recovery, up or down? Neutral, straight. And he literally worked out the checks and balances of their amounts then and there. And that is how it works. And that is how it should work, right? Yeah. If you are going to get an X amount of money from the audiences via your pull as you, this is what your worth is. This is what your worth is. On top of that, if I'm asking as a director, I need 300 days of yours. That's a lot of opportunity loss. So I compound that with whatever, right? Because you're then exclusively working for 300 days, which is 400 days gone because Bishop breaks you all that shit. So it comes down to that. So pay parity, that's the thing. Any actor gets whatever money they charge on the basis of the success and the pull that they have. One, it's never random or arbit. Oh, I want to, so let me throw money at you. And number two, timings. We used to have 9 to 5 shoots, then it became 12-hour shoots, 1.5 hour shifts basically, because of budgets and stuff like that. But again, these are not surprises or discussions. These are things done before the job is even begin and the actors are signed on. There are actors who don't shoot on Sundays. There are actors who don't shoot at night. There are actors who don't shoot after 8 o'clock in the evening.
Akshay Kumar comes in the morning, early morning.
I have no idea. No. Akshay Kumar finishes the film on time. He'll give you these days. He will be there. He doesn't even go to vanity. He's sitting there. Get ready. I'm there. Ready. People swear by Akshay Kumar because not one producer has ever lost money on Akshay Kumar. Akshay Kumar knows exactly the business of every film he does. That on paper, this is the recovery. So this is what I'm taking. This is the time that I'm giving. This is the amount of money you'll complete the film in. Everybody makes money. Nobody's unsafe. The biggest of stars, even down south, Rajnikant. Rajnikant sir does the same thing. He gives an X amount of time. He takes an X amount of money basis this. If there's a loss, they compensate the producers. No producer has ever kind of, gone to the cleaners. It works very smartly. And the timings and conditions of actors or their demands are done way before shooting begins when they're signing the contract with their money. So these are my demands, this is my staff. If you agree to it, that I will come, I'll give you 10 hours of shooting hours, including plus lunch and whatever, including that. So 8 hours of shooting time. A lot of actors do that. So it's no big deal. Actors and actresses both. I have had these contracts where I get 10 hours or 8 hours. And these are pre-decided. So what is the debate or what is the controversy that I don't understand? I mean, these are people, everybody is trying to create a space where you want actors to look good also. You want them in shape also. They want them to perform and deliver also. I don't think actors can deliver if they shoot for 12, 14 hours. I mean, 12 hours of shooting, which also means they need to come on set 1 hour prior, which means they need to leave 1 hour before. And then 1 hour after that to reach their places and then sleep 1 hour later. So you're talking about 5 to 6 hours of sleep. Right. So happens. We shot. We did shoot and we traveled a lot also. When it happens, actors give that. And there are times when an actor needs to come at 3 in the morning, which means they will wake up at 1 o'clock, travel, be ready with makeup at 3 o'clock for a 4 o'clock shot. Because that you will only have a 5-minute margin. So these are all things worked out. This is just honestly a media created controversy. There is nothing there.
Going through the Haq titles, I noticed that you also turned producer. Was it a new thing, or is it?
Well, I did Banda as well as a producer. I was an EP on Trial as well as So I have been doing stuff.
Is there a different kind of hat to wear as a producer from a creative?
Well, production is much more. I mean, see, as a director, in any case, you have to be part of production because you are literally running the entire ship, and every decision comes to you, whether it's production or creative. It just gives you more space to play with, more power, more money, more responsibilities, more haq.
Are you working on any international ventures right now? Anything to talk about?
I'm in talks and developing stuff, but when it happens, So these things take time.
Do you feel that you've arrived at the spot that you want to arrive at this point in your life?
No,
Where do you think you are there?
I don't know. I'm discovering myself. I'm on a journey.
Where is the
End goal?
end goal for
I have no idea. Maybe a different galaxy. Settle on Mars. Open a
The
studio
actual
there.
question is, what next for Suparn Verma is a question that is coming to.
What next? Right now, I'm just listening to ideas and stories and saying a lot of no's because I think I finally earned the right to say a lot of no's. That's
a big relief.
a big relief. I think to be able to say no without feeling scared is a big relief. Because I don't think as middle class people we are taught to say no. That FOMO is scary as shit and leads to wrong decisions. But I think if we learn to say no, I think life will be sorted a lot.
Okay, my final question to you is that.
Final question!
Final question.
Huh.
I mean, what advice would you give youngsters looking to make a career in the film industry?
Just go for it. Just go for it. I mean, self-doubt, debilitates everybody. Just go for it. What's the worst that will happen? What's the worst that will happen? You'll fail. You'll learn something.
Right.
You worried about, I'll lose time. You're losing time not doing anything in any case. And today, honestly, it's easier to do things as compared to earlier. Today, you have a mobile phone which is as good as a film camera, which records sounds. You can get like-minded people together, start doing stuff. You write, you direct, you shoot, I'll act, whatever. I mean, and there are platforms. You can upload stuff on YouTube, start your channels. I mean, there are millions of ways and ideas to get started. And the best part is, when you're starting out, there are actually no rules. Because there's nothing to be judged about. There's no body of work that you're coming from, I have to safeguard that.
Right.
Nothing.
Liberating, actually.
It's liberating. So just go for it. Just do it. Don't just wear those shoes, but actually just do it.
Yeah. And that's what anyway you've done too all your life. Just done it.
I mean, there's no other way. Jump in the middle of the ocean, you'll either sink or you learn to swim. So go for it. Go for broke. That's the only way I know how.
Cool. Thank you, Suparn, for being here, being a guest on the Rediff podcast show.
Rediff vertical chat.
हक तो बनता है यार.
हक होता है. Pleasure. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.